What I'm going to do next is I'm going to hide all of these lines just so I don't accidentally edit them in just a moment. And now what we're going to start to do is we're going to start to delete the original slots. This may seem a little strange, but the reason that we're going to do that is because during the scan you might find bits like this where the slots have been filled in, or you might see bits like this, or even over here. Can you see how the slot changes in width as it goes down? It's going to be very important for us that our slots are exactly the same width all the way through, and that width is exactly the same width as the material that we're going to use. Now we don't know exactly how thick the material we're going to use is right now, so at the moment we're going to keep it just as a straight line, and later we can change that line to suit the thickness of the material that we're going to work with. So just to make sure that we don't mess up these slots that we've now preserved, we're going to turn the visibility off. We could also lock it so that even if we did accidentally select it, we couldn't change it. Now we can hide that bit for the time being. I'll zoom back out again. Let's have a look at what we're going to be doing next. Now there's two more jobs we need to do really. The first is we need to get rid of these old messy slots. The second job is we might want to just fix the shape of the elephant a little bit so it looks more elephant-like. So let's start with the slots. Now you can see at the moment all of our parts are grouped together. That's very easy to fix. If we go to Object, Ungroup, that will allow us to start to deal with each one of these shapes individually. So now when I select it, I can select the body, I can select the shoulders, I can select the hips, the ears, or each of the legs. Now you'll notice that here on the left hand side there are two selection tools. The black selection tool and the white or direct selection tool. The difference between these tools are, first of all, if I use the black tool, it selects the whole shape. If I now move this, it moves on its own. The entire shape moves together. I don't want to do that because it's going to misalign my slots, so I'm going to bring that back. The other tool we've got is the direct selection tool. And what that allows me to do is to click on one individual point and move it, or one individual line and move that. Now we don't want to be doing those ones just yet, but you can see through this that there is a series of dots that describe the shape of our elephant. What we're going to do is we're going to remove a few of the dots that come inside for these slots. Now the tool we use for this may not be what you would expect it to be. You might think maybe we should just press on the button and delete it, but we don't. What we're going to do is we're going to use the pen tool, and specifically the delete anchor point tool. Let's just zoom in a bit more on this. Okay, the reason we use this tool is because it takes away a point much more neatly. What I mean by that is, can you see how there is still a blue outline all of the way around, even though we're taking away some of these dots? If I was to use the direct selection, select a button and press delete, can you see that there's a break in the circuit? And it's not a complete shape anymore. Now that means that the laser, when it came to cut out our shape, would cut along the blue line, get to here, stop, and re-continue down here, leaving a break in our shape, which isn't very good. So it's important that we use the remove or delete anchor point tool. We're going to remove each one of these until that whole gap disappears. Now when you get to this point, you may find that it's a little bit bumpy or a little bit messy. What we can then do is we can convert the anchor point, and if we click on an anchor point now, we can click and drag to get some handles on it and describe the kind of curvature that it has. This is called a Bezier curve. If we just tap on it, If we miss it, we'll get an error message like this. But if we tap on it, it doesn't have any handles. If we tap and drag, it grows some handles. So click, and it disappears. Now, we have now got rid of that whole slot. And we're going to do the same thing for all of the rest of the other slots, being careful not to move our parts around in the process so that the slots will still align when we make them appear later.